there still has to be some common sense provided. If you're in a facility that is closed in or where there's not a lot of room, that 1.5 metres between you and the next group of people is still critical to keeping this virus under control. We are living with the virus, we haven't beaten the virus, and that has to be understood by every single member of our community as the government partners with you and moves forward. There are also some major new opportunities that the Education Minister will announce for students in our schools, and of course there's also opening up. We've had meetings, Health has had meetings, and I've had meetings with representatives from choirs and ensembles and other music groups, and we are actually also freeing up a lot more in relation to the opportunities for our musicians, our wonderful musicians in our community, to enjoy more of what they've done in the past. So right across the state there will be the possibility of people being able to sing. If you're in a church, for example, a choir might have a group of 5 now, but subject to certain limitations. Again, recognising that aerosols are extremely dangerous. What comes out of our mouth when we talk or sing can be extremely dangerous as it carries the virus. So whilst we're freeing up so many new activities today, still I ask as Health Minister for people to exercise caution so we can have a fabulous spring and an even better summer. I'll now hand over to the Education Minister.
That's right. Good morning, everybody. As we come to the end of Term 3, it finishes tomorrow, I just want to thank all of our school communities, our parents, our teachers and our staff for the wonderful job that they've done to keep our schools safe during Term 3. And I'm really delighted to say that we will be able to ease a number of restrictions in schools for Term 4. As Minister Hazzard said, we will be returning to school sport as it existed before the pandemic. We will be opening up inter-school and zone competitions. The only restriction that will remain is that we will not be able to have parents on school sites for school sport when a school day is on. That's just to limit the risk and not having non-essential adults. But of course, if school activities are taking place on community sport venues, they will be able to attend and follow the COVID safe guidelines of those particular venues. Also very delighted to say that we will be able to have singing and choirs back in our school communities, up to 5 students participating in those choirs, again with some COVID restrictions around that, including social distancing. And the same goes for music ensembles. We'll be able to have unlimited numbers of students taking part in music ensembles as long as they adhere to social distancing requirements. Music education is really important, and I want to thank the many groups who have made that clear to the government. I think it's fantastic that we'll be able to see those activities resume in our schools from Term 4. We'll also be able to welcome parents back if they're coming on to the school site to help for an educational purpose, so things like reading groups, kitchen garden programs. If they're managed by the school and parents are volunteering to take part in that, they will be able to do that in Term 4. Year 6 formals and celebrations will be able to take place in Term 4 as well, and we are anticipating we'll be able to have school assemblies and presentation days at the end of Term 4 also. We'll be providing our schools over the next couple of weeks a few more details in relation to what guidelines they'll need to follow, but it's certainly my intention for those events to go ahead and, if possible, have parents attend, because I do think that's incredibly important. We'll also open up again to school camps and school excursions as long as those venues have COVID safe plans. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, we will also be able to have our orientation and transition programs start for our kindergarten and Year 7 students in 2021. Year 7 students will be able to go on high school sites after the 11th of November when the HSC finishes. For our kindergarten students, they'll be able to start their orientation programs from the beginning of Term 4, and I think that's so important given that for those kids starting their first day of big school next year, to have that time in their school community this term is something again that I know our principals have really been asking us to look at. So very delighted that that will also be able to take place in Term 4.